A single bullet fired in 1914 killed an archduke and started World War I. Everyone knows that story. But decades earlier, another assassination changed the course of human civilization in ways most people never learned about. A murder so shocking that it accidentally gave birth to the democratic systems we take for granted today. The killer had no idea what he was about to unleash. For centuries, European monarchs ruled with absolute power. Kings and queens answered to no one. Their word was law, and anyone who challenged them faced execution. The divine right of kings was considered unshakable. Then came a ruler so despised that even his own guards wanted him dead. His tyranny would become so unbearable that desperate men would take matters into their own hands. A group of nobles gathered in secret, knowing that discovery meant certain death. They weren't revolutionaries or commoners. These were men of privilege who had everything to lose. But the king's paranoia and cruelty had pushed them too far. They made a pact that would change everything. The plan was simple but terrifying: regicide. On a cold night, the conspirators struck. The king fought back viciously, but he was outnumbered. Blood stained the palace floors as the monarch who believed himself untouchable breathed his last. The assassination was complete. But now the conspirators faced an even bigger problem. What comes next? The power vacuum they created could plunge the nation into chaos. The assassins never intended to create democracy. They simply wanted a different king, one who would listen to them. But the murder had shattered something fundamental: the illusion of absolute royal authority. If a king could be killed by his own nobles, then kings were not chosen by God. They were just men, mortal, fallible, and removable. To prevent another tyrant from rising, the nobles drafted a revolutionary document. It placed limits on royal power for the first time in history. The king could no longer imprison people without trial, levy taxes without consent, or rule by whim alone. These words on parchment became the foundation for constitutional government. The concept of rights was born from assassination. This single act of violence created a template that spread across the world. Future revolutionaries and reformers pointed to this moment as proof that tyranny could be challenged. The American founding fathers studied it. French revolutionaries cited it. The principles established in the aftermath of this murder became the building blocks of modern democracy, even though that was never the original intent. The nobles who committed the assassination wanted to preserve their own power and privileges. They had no interest in equality or freedom for common people. Yet their desperate act to protect themselves from a tyrant accidentally created the legal framework that would eventually limit their own power too. History's greatest advancements often come from the most selfish motivations. The road from that bloody night to modern democracy took centuries and countless more lives. Wars were fought, revolutions erupted, and generations struggled to expand the rights that began as a tool for nobles to protect themselves. What started as an act of self-preservation by the elite slowly transformed into universal human rights. The journey was long, brutal, and completely unplanned. Every time someone votes, demands a fair trial, or challenges government overreach, they exercise rights that trace back to this assassination. The conspirators who struck down a tyrant could never have imagined that their desperate act would echo through centuries. They killed a king to save themselves. Instead, they accidentally laid the groundwork for a world where kings would become obsolete. One assassination, one desperate act by frightened nobles, and the entire trajectory of human governance changed forever. Democracy wasn't born from noble ideals or philosophical enlightenment. It emerged from violence, fear, and self-interest. Sometimes history's greatest achievements come from the darkest moments. If this story shocked you, subscribe to discover more hidden truths about how our modern world was really built.